Hi everyone, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make these gorgeous butterflies out of the simplest of materials. And there's so many different things that you can use these on. You can attach them to cards or tags. You can add them to hair barrettes, glue them to the tops of clothespins to close your gift bags with. You can glue them onto small gift bags or boxes. You can glue them onto bud vases, attach them to the front of your journals, make them to add to embellishment boxes. You can even attach a butterfly with double-sided mounting tape to a co-worker's desk or locker to brighten their day. So there's just a ton of things you can do with these. And like I said, I did make them from the very simplest things, and I'll go into more detail as to where I found certain things. And you can make your own little butterflies. So with that said, let's get started and I'll show you exactly how I made these. Okay, I used this butterfly punch by EK Tools, and I bought it from Amazon. It measures 1 1/4 inches across. Be careful because they have a larger butterfly that looks just like this, but it's 2 inches across. And I thought it was just a little bit too large for the craft projects that I like to do, so I went with the butterfly that measures 1 1/4 inches across. Okay, now you can go to Amazon if you'd like to buy this. They have it on there. You just type in the words EK Tools Butterfly Punch and just make sure it's the one that's 1 1/4 inches across. Okay, they might have this at Hobby Lobby as well. I've seen them here and there at craft stores, but I know that they sell them all the time on Amazon. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to need is some white 110-pound cardstock. See, it's a nice weight, and they have this at any craft store. They generally sell them by the packages. You can also find this paper on Amazon, but I think it might be a little more expensive. You can check it out if you'd like. And I'm just going to punch 2 butterflies. Sorry about that. I know it's loud. Okay. And I also love the 8.5 by 11 paper that Hobby Lobby carries. And generally they'll have these on sale for $1. And they just have the prettiest prints. And some of it kind of reminds me of the Pioneer Woman, you know, the type of floral prints that she has. But I chose these two because I thought they were nice and springy. And I already cut, or I should say I already punched a couple of butterflies out like this. Okay, now you have to decide which one you want to use for the bottom of your butterfly and which one you want to use for the top. So I think I'm going to use this one here for the bottom and this one for the top. Okay, so now the top one, the one you're going to use for the top, you're going to want to cut off the little antennae here, and also this little piece at the bottom. Okay, you'll probably have to use your little precision scissors for that. Okay, so this will be the top. All right, now same goes for your little cardstock butterflies. Just take one of them and cut the little antennae. just like that. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take some Beacon Fabri-Tac glue. I love this glue because you can use it on paper and your paper doesn't buckle. And so I love that about this. Alright. I'm going to just take this and just spread it with the nozzle, making sure I pay attention to the edges here. That's actually the most important. A little bit on the antennae. Okay. So now I'm going to take the top, and before I press it down, of course, I'm going to make sure it's nice and even on there, like this. Now then I'm going to press it down. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to allow this to dry, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. It shouldn't take too long to dry. I would leave it for a couple of hours and then come back and we'll do the rest. But you want to make sure it is dry. Make sure you get it on the corners too. One thing nice about this glue is as it dries, your project becomes even sturdier. Okay. Make sure it's all pressed down. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry for a couple of hours, and then I'll be back and we'll do some more to it. Okay, so after it has dried, you're going to take the piece where we cut all this off at the top and the bottom, okay? And you're going to take your precision scissors, right? Not your thick scissors, your precision ones, and you're going to make sure that it's right in the middle. And then you're going to just close it like this, okay? And pinch it here. And it should look like that. Don't worry about the wrinkle in the middle, that's going to be covered. But you're going to take your Fabri-Tac glue and you're going to put a fairly good amount here on the back. And you're going to place it, I'll hold this up so you can see it, right here in the middle, just like that, okay? And you can kind of fix it a little if you want. Make sure it's nice and even. Now, don't worry too much about one wing if it's a little slightly lower than the other wing, because we'll fix all that up once it dries, but for now you just want it to be centered and you want to make sure that it's thoroughly dry. So go ahead and leave this for a few hours and then you can come back to it and we'll work on the rest. Okay, so now that this part is dry, we're going to take some of this rhinestone chain that I purchased a while back, and I'm sure you guys remember this. if you've been following me for any length of time. Such a pretty chain too. They have this on Amazon, and I believe I paid about $9 for it, or a little over. This is 3mm, and I'm using the 3mm because I like the chunkiness of this on the butterfly. I think it really stands out, so that's why I'm using the 3mm. And this, if you type in the words rhinestone AB chain 3mm, then this should pop up. The seller is Hyundai, and of course they've got lots of different chains there that are pretty, but this is just the one that I bought, and I like the AB shine to it. So I'm going to take 4 little stones. That's what I want for the body. I'll cut it off. And then I'll put this chain back. Okay. Sorry about the bag rattling. And then I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac glue. I'm just going to put some glue here right in the middle. I'm going to lay my chain right in the center, and then I'm going to kind of push the chain together. And if you need to move it around, you can use a toothpick, and I'll show you what I do. I have it facing me, and then I just do this. See? You can make it nice and even. And then that'll be the body. Now we're going to allow this to dry really well before we move on to the next step. There you go. I think that looks pretty good right there. Alright, so I'm going to allow this to dry, and then we'll be back. Okay, so everything is dried, and at this point I'm just going to bend the little wings upwards to where I want it, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use some iridescent glitter glue. I love this Stickles, and this one here is in Icicle, right there. And this one is by Deco Art, and they call it Galaxy Glitter. And I bought this, I believe, at in the paint section where all the Deco Art paints are and stuff. I'm thinking it was either Hobby Lobby or Walmart, but I'm leaning more towards Hobby Lobby. Now I really think this is the new version of Deco Art's Twinkles. They used to have something out called Twinkles, and this reminds me a lot of it. And I think what they did is they maybe changed the formula a little bit and renamed it Galaxy Glitter. And this is basically a cheaper version of the Glitterific. And I believe this is about a little under $4 a bottle, something like that. So you can use any kind of iridescent glitter glues that you like, but I really like these two, so I'm going to mix them together. You don't have to have these exact brands, but this is just what I'm using today. And I'm going to put a little bit of this in the bottle cap. And then I'm going to take some of the stickles and put that in there as well. Now I'm running kind of low on the stickles, so I'm going to have to kind of hit it to get some. Here we go. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit of stickles in there too. And I'm just taking a cheap brush and stirring it around. And honestly, this is too much just for one butterfly. You could probably do several butterflies with this amount, but mixing it all up. And I'm just going to paint over the bottom wings. And I'm being generous, as you can see. You want lots of pretty sparkle. I'm not using the darker glitter because I don't want it to cover up the print. I really love the iridescence for that reason. And if you've been following me for any length of time, you'll know that I'm very partial to iridescent glitter. Now this is not going to be dry in a couple of hours. You'd be very wise to let this part dry overnight. That's something you won't regret doing, because it'll make all the difference in the world with your projects. Especially the little butterfly project. And as this dries, this will also add an additional stiffness. You know, I thought that little amount that I put in there would cover at least 3 butterflies, but it looks like I'm using it up awfully quick. Okay. All right. So please allow this to dry overnight. And then we'll come back and we'll finish the rest. But I think this will be really pretty by the time it's finished. Okay, so we have our little butterfly, and it's nice and sturdy. And so I'm going to take this gold Deco Color Premium pen, and I bought this on Amazon. Here's the brand name, RV Cheetah. And it was $4 and something cents. I really love it. In fact, the gold pen that I normally use is the 18 karat gold leafing pen. And honestly, I like this just as well. So I'm going to shake it up a little bit. And let me grab a piece of paper here. Because I need to pump it up just a tiny bit. Because I'm just going to take the tips of this antennae here and put a little bit of gold with this paint pen. And if you don't have a gold paint pen, don't worry, just take some gold paint or something and do just the tips. Just so that'll show up, okay? All right. Now the next thing I'm going to show you are these little earring bails, glue-on earring bails. I've had these for a while now. I got a whole bunch of them on eBay one day, and they were really well priced, but the seller's not on there anymore. But this is what they look like. These are bright silver earring bails, and you can tell they're earring bails because the loop right here is facing the front, and if they were a pendant bail, it would be facing the side. The loop would be. Okay. Now, I just, for the heck of it, typed in the words glue-on earring bails into the Amazon search bar, and lo and behold, they popped up. Somebody was selling these bright silver ones in the same size and everything for $6.99 for 100 of them. Now, you can also look on eBay if you'd like, but I just happened to notice, and they had really good feedback. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take some Fabri-Tac and put it on the bail, and then just lay this down like that to dry, okay? These are 6 millimeters wide, and from the top of the loop to the very tip, they're about 13 millimeters. But if you don't want to count the loop and you just want to count the base, it's about 10 millimeters. Okay, so I'm just going to put some here, and this sticks very well using this Fabri-Tac. I'm just going to lay the... Ah, not smart, was it? Sure, get all that off. Okay. I'm going to lay this down just like this. Okay? Just like that. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. And we're just going to allow this to dry thoroughly, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I have some really pretty Paper Studio rhinestones here, and I never pay full price. These always go on sale at least a couple of times a month for half price, so I wait until then, and then I pick up several at half price. And I'm using the smallest rhinestone on this sheet, and this is 6 millimeter, okay? And you're going to use 4 of them for each butterfly. All right, so I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to pick them up one at a time. I'm going to be using my Fabri-Tac glue just so they'll be extra secure on there. And I'm just going to put one rhinestone here, and this will dry. It'll grab pretty quickly. And you're going to put one here, one here, one here, and one here. And honestly, you probably could have done this a little earlier before we put on the glitter, but be honest, I think that I don't know, it would have been difficult to take the glitter and move it around the rhinestones. But as you can see, it does cling fairly quickly with this. You can also use hot glue. Just need a little amount. But you go in the order that you feel comfortable doing as far as making this. I'm just showing you what I did. Doesn't mean that it's right or the only way to do it. Okay. Okay, so these have actually dried pretty quickly on here. And so I'm going to show you an easy little charm and really inexpensive. Now, I don't think I ever showed you this, but a while back at Hobby Lobby, I was in their clearance section, and they had this little wire type thing that you wrap around candles at weddings and whatnot. And somebody had taken it out of their original packaging and made an absolute mess of it. It was all tangled and everything. So one of the Hobby Lobby employees put it in a plastic bag and put a 29-cent sticker on it. No joke, 29 cents. So I grabbed it and I cut it in little manageable pieces. But what I've been doing is I've been cutting these little briolettes off here and using them as charms, and they're so pretty, and they're pretty much weightless. I mean, they're just ultra light, okay, because it's made out of acrylic. Now, you're probably thinking about now, well, why are you telling me this? I'm not going to, find these for 29 cents for all this in the clearance section. Well, I'm telling you this because in the wedding section, they have little bundles of these, like this. I'll give you an example. Like this. And I've never really counted how many were there, but there's generally, quite a few. And they have these bundled up like this and tied, and you can buy them. And the regular price for these, I think they're like $2.99, but they always have their wedding stuff at least half off a couple of times a month. In fact, I think that they have their wedding stuff 50% off right now. And if you miss it, don't worry about it, because like I said, they always have it, their wedding things on sale for 50% off at least a couple of times a month. So you could pick up a bundle of these for like $1.50, okay? And they're really handy. I'm going to eventually go through probably and just cut all of these off instead of doing this one at a time. But, oh, another thing too, with the little bundles, I have seen these little briolettes in pink and also a pretty baby blue. So you have your choice of colors. And I'll probably buy a couple in various colors the next time I go to Hobby Lobby. But for now, I'm just cutting this off, and it's very easy. It's just twisty wire. That's all it is. Okay, so I'm gonna, well, I just need one for this one. I don't know. I was thinking of the one I was doing off camera. Okay, and then you're going to need a jump ring, and I just use a 5mm jump ring. But if that's all you have is a 6mm, you could use that. But I just think the 5mm looks a lot better. It's not as large. And so let me get my tools here. And there we go. I can kind of feel it to see where it opens. I'm just going to take my little bead, little briolette bead, just slip it in there, and then just slip it in here, and then close it. And like I said, if you don't have a 5mm, no problem. Use a 6mm. And there you go. And we just used a jump ring. That's all we used. I think it turned out really pretty. Okay, and let's see. There's, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, yeah. For a minute there I was thinking, wasn't there one thing else that I needed to do? But no. Okay, and so here it is, and it was really easy to make. You just need to have a little patience with the drying time. When you put the glitter on especially, make sure that dries overnight. Like I said, don't try to speed it up by using a heat gun or anything like that, because what'll happen is if you do that, the air from the heat gun pushes the glitter glue around and ends up being blobby in some places and not in others. And if you're wondering how I know, yeah, I tried it and it did not turn out well. So just be patient and allow this to dry overnight. It's nice and sturdy, and you can use these for so many different crafts. So I really hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and I hope you give your own little butterflies a try. And thank you so much for sticking with me, and God bless each and every one of you. Take care now. Bye-bye.